Oh! Let's go! Guardians win. They beat the Tigers once again. And what did I say yesterday? What did I say? The Cleveland Guardians just took the Tigers' best shot. And they only lost by a run. Whoa. And that game, I'm going to be completely honest. Until that inning where the Guardians completely just broke the will of the entire Tigers team, the entire city of Detroit, the entire state of Michigan. Man, that was a glorious inning, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. But, man. That was stressful. I'm not going to lie. We can all argue about how if the momentum would have changed, if the Tigers actually would have scored that run that ended up getting overturned on the challenge. Man, what a game. What a freaking game. And guess what? Skubal's not pitching in Game 3. The best you're going to get for the Tigers is Tubal's going to be pitching in Game 1, but you got to go through us first. Yet again, just like that, the momentum that the Guardians built up was just crushed in Game 1. It's right back up, and we can even argue that it's even higher than it was. That game might have just broken the will of the Detroit Tigers. Now, could the Tigers come out and blow us out in Game 3? Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been saying that the entire time. Honestly, I didn't want to play the Tigers in the wild card. I didn't. I was kind of in Boston. Now, I know I don't want to play New York. Guardians can't beat New York to save their life. They've proven that over and over again, no matter who's on the team, no matter what year, no matter where it is, what time it is, what the weather is, nothing. We can't beat New York. We'll see what happens in that game against Boston. But, I don't know. Just the pressure that you felt, especially in those middle innings when the Tigers really felt like they were going to pour it on, that they were just a at-bat away from absolutely destroying the Guardians and the fans. They were there the entire time, and it was just glorious to watch that entire Tigers dugout completely shatter. Their will shattered. Javi Baez was getting hits in this game, and he's been getting hits for the past 2 weeks. And the Tigers still can't beat the Guardians without Terrence Skubal. That is crazy to me. This Game 3 will come down to one thing tomorrow. And it will be one team has Jose Ramirez and one team doesn't. These series always come down to that, especially when it's the Guardians and the Tigers. The Tigers had their shot, and they blew it again. Just like last year when it was in Detroit and they could win it, and it was right there, and David Fry said no. And then Skubal breaks David Fry's nose, injures him up for the rest of the season, takes Game 1 in Cleveland, again steals the game away from Cleveland in Cleveland. But it doesn't matter, because this series isn't 5 games like it was last year. Sorry about that. This series is 3 games. This is not a series where pitchers can pitch in multiple games in this series. Skubal got 1, and then he's done. He could be done for the rest of the season for all we know. Now, enough of that. Let's talk about the Guardians. What are we doing? We can beat teams like the Tigers like that because we own the Tigers. We absolutely own the Tigers. But are we going to beat teams in the next round? Are we going to beat teams like Boston and New York and Seattle like that. No. No. These bats need to wake up, and I hope this game was the wake-up call that they needed. Because right now, through this entire regular season, that these bats have been horrible. And I know we have injuries in some key spots, but that's okay. Noel needs to be better. In game 1, he was horrible. But I didn't panic. Because this is the Tigers that we're talking about. Now, the Tigers could come back tomorrow and completely eliminate this entire curse and the Guardians with it. But is anyone really picking that to happen right now? This game is in Cleveland. This game is against the Detroit Tigers. Who is betting on the Tigers right now? A Terrence Skubal-less Tigers to win this game. Now, are the Tigers bats going to be completely awakened? Probably. They haven't had a home run in this series yet. So I'm probably willing to bet that they'll probably have one or two, if not more, tomorrow. Will that be enough? I don't know. But man, if that inning where the Tigers completely lost all hope, man, if that doesn't awake the Guardians bats, I don't know what will. But one thing is for sure is you have to have your bats if you're going to do anything in this October. We can't rely on our pitching like we tried last year. It didn't work. We lost in 5 games to New York, and I know those games were close, but we lost them. We did. And if it wasn't for Noel and David Fry, we would have gotten swept. I don't want that again. If I want to go down, I want to go down swinging. Literally. So we got to fight for this. And that starts tomorrow in a Game 3 against a team that you have owned for the past year plus. And I'm not counting, the times that the Tigers weren't making the playoffs or anything. Since the Tigers have been relevant in the MLB these past 2 years, you have owned them. You have. Don't matter if it's in Cleveland, if it's in Detroit. We're not going back to Detroit. Detroit Stadium might as well just be closed for the rest of the year because they're never going back there. But I can tell you one thing. The playoffs will be coming back to Cleveland after tomorrow. We'll be in Seattle for Game 1. And the Tigers will be sitting on their couches yet again, wishing they didn't have to play the Guardians. It's just how life is sometimes. But most importantly, it's Cleveland or nowhere.